Hello students, we were discussing about the extraction of metal. We have done extraction of metal with the low in the reactivity series, metal with the middle reactivity series. Now we are going to do extraction of metal high up in the activity series. These metals are potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium and aluminium. So how these metals are extracted from their ores? For this, we'll go this with electrolytic reduction. Okay, reduction. So the high reactive metals cannot be obtained by the reduction process as we have done with the extraction of metals of low reactivity and extraction of metals of middle reactivity. In this, these metals are obtained by the electrolysis of their molten or the fused oxides or chlorides. Okay, electrolysis of the molten form means you have to pass the electric current in the molten state. Suppose if we take one example, the electrolysis of sodium chloride. If we take electrolysis of sodium chloride, what we do first, we take sodium chloride and heat it so that it can melt and it changes into Na plus plus Cl minus ions. When it melts, it changes into ions. Okay, then the Na plus will move towards cathode. Okay, Na plus will move towards the cathode and take one electron and undergoes reduction and changes into sodium metal. Okay, so the first step is pass the electric current in the sodium. What will happen? It will heat up and it changes into ions, that is Na plus and Cl minus. This Na plus ion will move towards the cathode and it will go reduction. Reduction means addition of electron. When electrons are added to up, it changes into sodium metal at cathode. Similarly, at anode, the chloride minus ion on oxidation means removal of electron. It changes into chlorine metal and E minus. Okay, oxidation means removal of electron. This electron is taken up by sodium. So from where did this electron they got? They have taken it from the chlorine. Okay, and this chlorine will react with another chlorine atom to form chlorine gas, because chlorine, this is unstable, it is a nascent, it is having one electron less, so it will take with the electron with the other and it will form the chlorine gas. In this way, the electrolysis of sodium chloride is taken to be getting the sodium metal. Suppose if I take another example of aluminium oxide, how you will take out aluminium from aluminium oxide? Okay, when electricity is passed through it, it melts into Al3 plus O2 minus. Balance it, 2, 3. You have to balance the equation. So now where the Al3 plus will go? The Al3 plus will go at the cathode and it will change into, it will take 3 electrons given up by the oxygen atoms and it will change into the aluminium metal at cathode. At anode, what will happen? The O2 minus will give 2 electrons and the oxygen will come out in the form of oxygen gas. Okay, in this way the electrolysis of aluminium oxide will be taken up, and this is the extraction of metals of high reactivity series. After extraction, okay, our last step is refining of pure metal. Okay, refining of impure metal to get pure metal. The metals which are obtained in the middle reactivity series and in the low reactivity series, they are impure metal, they contain some impurities. Now you have to purify that metal. That is, purifying of impure metal is called as refining of metal. The process of purifying the impure metal is called as refining of metal. This method is used for refining depends upon the nature of the metal and the nature of the impurities. Refining of the metal depends upon the nature of the metal and nature of the impurities. The most commonly used method for the purification of metals are electrolytic refining. So this method is electrolytic refining, like the metals such as copper, silver, gold, nickel, chromium, zinc, tin, aluminium, lead, they are purified by this method. In this method, as the refining of metal is done by electrolysis, it is called as electrolytic refining. Why it is called as electrolytic refining? Because refining of the metal is done by the electrolysis process. So what we do in this process? In this process, we take a impure metal. The impure metal which you are taking should be thick. Should be thick. So this is connected to anode. And I am taking an example of impure metal, impure copper metal I am taking. Okay, impure copper metal which we have obtained by the extraction of metals in the middle reactivity. We have taken that impure metal. I am taking a thick block of impure metal and it is connected to the anode of the battery. Now to the cathode of the battery I am taking pure metal, okay, which is in the form of thin block. Okay, this is pure metal, pure copper metal I am taking, and it is connected to cathode. The solution or the electrolyte which I am taking is a salt solution of the metal. Salt solution of copper I am taking as, okay, copper sulfate solution. When I am taking copper sulfate solution, now electric current is passed to the circuit. What will happen? The copper metal in the form of iron, that is Cu2 plus iron, will into the solution. And from the solution, the same amount of the Cu2 plus iron will go and get deposit at cathode. Okay, what happened at anode? What reaction has taken place at anode? Copper metal, this is a impure copper metal. It comes out in the form of Cu2 plus ions and 2 electrons have been released. Okay, now at cathode, okay, the Cu2 plus ion will take 2 electrons from the solution and changes into copper metal which get deposited at cathode. So the impure metal goes on decreasing, where the pure metal goes on increasing. It will become thin, it will become thick in size. Next, about the impurities. The soluble impurities present in the impure metal will pass into the solution. The impurities which are soluble will pass into the solution, whereas insoluble impurities will get deposited at the bottom of anode and it is called as anode mud. What you call it as? Anode mud. In this way, the electrolytic refining of impure metal has been taken place. So till here it is the extraction of the metals. Okay, till here your metallurgy has been completed. Now the last topic which is left is corrosion. Corrosion, as we have discussed in the chapter 1. The same thing is here. You have to learn the same topic, everything from first chapter. I am adding one point in the corrosion of methods of preventing. We have done painting, we have done greasing and oiling, galvanization also we have done. But coating with the tin, chromium and nickel, this point we have not done. So I am discussing this point. So coating with the tin, chromium and nickel. These metals are resistant to the corrosion. Thus, when a thin layer of these metals are deposited on the iron objects by electroplating, they are protected from rusting. So, the coating of tin, chromium or nickel is done on the iron object electroplating method. Like tiffin boxes. Example, tiffin boxes made up of steel are either tin plated or nickel plated, or both plated both from inside and outside to protect it from the rusting. We can also do alloying to prevent rusting. What is alloying? So when iron is alloyed with the copper, nickel and carbon, if the iron is mixed with the copper, nickel and carbon with the appropriate amount, you will get stainless steel. This stainless steel is resistant to the corrosion and hence it doesn't rust. Now what are alloys? An alloy is defined as a homogeneous mixture of two or more metals or a metal and a non-metal. So alloy is the homogeneous mixture of two or more metals or a metal and a non-metal. Preparation of alloys. It is prepared first by melting the main metal. So first what you will do in alloying, the main metal is melted and the other elements with definite proportion, they are added to it. Then it is cooled at that room temperature and hence you obtain a alloy. There are three types of alloys: ferrous alloy, non-ferrous alloy and amalgam. The word ferrous alloy, it means that an alloy in which iron is present. Non-ferrous alloy, amalgam, an alloy containing mercury as one of the constituent metal. Example of ferrous alloy is manganese steel, nickel steel. See, I have given the proportion also. Non-ferrous alloy, brass and bronze. Brass, copper, zinc and bronze also with the copper and tin. Amalgams are which contains one metal as mercury, like sodium amalgam, zinc amalgam. Okay. Now alloying of the pure gold. So the gold which we use in the ornament, they are made up of 22 carats. Actually the pure gold is 24 carats. This 24 carat gold is, and we cannot use it for the making jewelry. So we have to mix it with either with the copper or with the silver. So for making the ornaments, we take 22 carats of gold. It means 22 parts of the pure gold and 2 parts either of copper you are going to take or silver. So this is called as alloying of gold. I had written some alloys and their composition: steel, stainless steel, brass, bronze, German silver, soldier. You have to learn along with their proportions. Okay, till here your chapter has been completed. The back exercise questions we have to do. Okay, I'll be sending the PDF of the back exercise questions. Till here we have done the chapter 3. Your chapter 3 has been completed. Thank you.